My name is Samantha McDonough, and this is my project. It's called Art Out of the Box. I came up with the project over a year ago, and I've been working pretty seriously on it since last June. It's a 4-foot by 4-foot trailer that we bought as a kit and put together, and built a platform on top of it. We had an open call process for 3 of the artists. 2 of the artists were part of the whole design process. They were part of trying to come up with the best design for the art box itself and helping me to kind of configure the way to go about the artist selection process. They were part of the artist selection process. Those are Ian Green and Alberto Amarza, who will each be doing a residency. Ian Green will be in the north side and Alberto will be in the south side. And for the other 3 artists, we put out flyers and put calls out on Facebook and different websites. And we had 40 applications, which is pretty phenomenal for a brand new project. They were all high caliber artists who applied. In the end, we came up with Jessica, who we felt very good about, Will Schloe, who is a sculptor, kind of conceptual artist, and Deanna Mans, who will be working in Polish Hill. Will be working in Lawrenceville. And so we feel really good about all of the artists that we have chosen. They're all very interested in kind of connecting with community, community-based work, and making art more accessible.
What's up?
I was going to do your soundbite. You get a sec.
Okay.
Head out in a minute.
Okay.
Right,
How should we do that?
Huh?
How should we do that?
I just have you just stand in front of the camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta stand in front of the camera, guys.
Make sure your hair is right now.
Yeah, right. Oh,
There you
perfect. My name is Ian Green. I'm a painter and a musician, and I'm working in the box here. We're here in Commons Park, north side, and it's been a great time.
All right. Well, my name's Jessica Amranick. 23 years old, and I just moved here to Pittsburgh in January, on January 1st. Pittsburgh's great. Pittsburgh has more parking than Philadelphia. It's cleaner, and the people are nicer. Don't really like that I can't wear a Flyers jersey around here without getting screamed at, but other than that, it's great. It's got a gritty charm to it, for sure, and it's got a good art scene.
Well, the project is just Samantha McDonough. It's her brainchild, is to bring the artist studio out into the public realm, sort of demystify the process of art making and what artists are actually doing in their space. So if this ends up somewhere here in Lawrenceville, hopefully, then people will have, not only will they see it and will be a public piece that they see on a regular, but they will also potentially have that sort of experience with it already and have seen it being created and have met me while I'm creating it, which is another level to the project, which is really interesting.
I've had some really deep, heady conversations with people, and then I've just had how's the weather, that kind of basic stuff. And yeah, I don't know, I think that on the last day and kind of looking back on the past 6 days, I would say that I think the project was very successful. It would be interesting that if I was to do it again, I would do things a little differently, maybe even possibly think of projects where I could, I don't know, get the community to even be creative with me. Because talking about creativity and the art of being creative in general, whether you're an artist, musician, poet, I met a scientist today and we talked about creativity, but it would be great to find a way to also express ourselves and maybe get them to be excited about finding an outlet that they never thought of doing before. To move things around and move my body and move the surface, so I've always wanted to do things that were just enormous, but how am I to finagle my way through that whole huge thing? So I don't know. But I've done larger things, yeah, and it's really tricky. There's a lot of moving things around, and it's like the game Twister or something.
It's a very personal thing for me to have to bring my studio, my tools, my uncertainty of my process of art into the street. I'm not used to that. So many times I don't really know what I'm doing, or it you know, the work is not coming out the way I want it, and in the safety of my studio, I can be like, you know, but out here, I'm kind of like, oh, what if somebody's standing right next to me when like the little miniature chair gets stuck to my finger, and I'm like trying to take it off and it flies and gets lost, you know, and then I'm like, oh yeah, well, you know, so we were talking about that with other participating artists too, that this is kind of like, you have to let go. You have to let go of that artist sort of, oh, I know what I'm doing kind of thing, this technique that I have and all this stuff. You kind of have to be more humble and say, hey, well, it's windy, it's rainy, there's people, and I'm doing what I'm doing, but, you know, it's all, the process of art is always uncertain. It's difficult and unpredictable for the most part.
Okay. It looks like it's only a 40% chance of rain tomorrow.
That's what I keep hearing. People keep walking by. They're like, maybe it won't. I hope it doesn't.
Weather has been a hindrance, but not anything that stopped us. Her first day, it poured all day, and her second day, it poured all day, and it was cold. But she's a trooper, and she was out here working right through all the weather. We had her covered as best as possible. The first day, we found out that there was this space here, and the tent just kind of covered, you know, from here to there. This wall was closed in, and so it kept it off the top of her, but she was getting splashed from cars, and her feet were a little wet and cold. So we're gonna have some kind of tarp or a curtain coming on the bottom spaces of the walls to try and take care of that. So weather's an issue, but it's not going to stop her from working. And even still, she had a number of people stop by every day to talk to her about what she was doing. She also got some personal commissions out of it, so she got some additional work, which is good for her. She got a few marriage proposals. Two marriage proposals. And some good conversations with people. So I'd say that all in all, it's pretty successful, even with the unfortunate rain that we've had.
I've been talking to some really interesting people that are walking up and down the street. There was a really great dog that showed up without an owner at the time. I mean, the owner showed up later, but super friendly dog. The weather's beautiful today, which is great because it's been raining and cold the past couple days. But the rest of the artists that are participating in this are going later in the summer, so should be great.
Jessica.
Hi.
I read about you.
You read about me. What's your name?
I read about this.
Okay.
I'm Jody.
Nice to meet you, Jody. Jessica.
Nice to meet you
Who's
too.
this?
This is Shay.
Hi, Shay. There was a really awesome
Really
talk
well
earlier.
behaved.
It's all been, like, nothing has been too crazy. Everyone's just been, it's been pretty low key, but everyone's been really nice. Like, nobody's really given me any crap about anything. And some cool little kids come by and check on it. One girl keeps insisting that I have to give her the project because it's her birthday. Other than that, just people stopping in to see how it's coming along and just being friendly and talking about what I'm up to, obviously, curious about the project. Well, here comes one of my regulars. This is one that gives me sass all the time. What do you think? Does it look like a pine cone yet? Still no? Nope. He likes giving me sass.
My favorite reaction has been like the kind of like, oh, that's different, and then they walk away. You know.
One, you guys can check out right there. If you look real close, there's in the back wall there's a cave painting. Have you ever seen a cave painting?
No, where is it?
Like, you look all the way back in the back side there. Maybe from this side you can see what it is. Let's see it?
I see red.
Yeah,
What else did you make?
I made another one that's in that corner over there. See where the grass is? I think this project that Sam envisioned is really brilliant in the sense that it puts art I mean, it's kind of like, I'm going to restate the obvious, but we were talking about sculptures and galleries of art and things that are, I was saying, hidden in plain sight. And where they're there, and people know they're there, but they're not necessarily going to have the impulse to stop and interact or see it. You know, I think it is. I think people see them, and there's like, oh, it's just a hole. Like, even when you see the hole, you can't see anything.
Oh my God! Whoa! Very cool.
That's very cool. And I think this project is very ingenious in that sense, because it shows the aspect of the process of art that people don't often see.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, wow.
Oh, Bubba.
Yeah, I see that.
You see it? What do you think about it? You like it?
I like, oh, are they all over the south side?
Tiny little piece of art.
And it's right there. I mean, you walk by this and you can't help looking. We're outside. We're not, you know, nobody has to cross some kind of threshold to experience the process of making art. And so I think that's something that it's out of the box in the metaphorical sense, you know, where people get to experience this, and it's not your average art experience.
Let's try to find it.
Oh, you found it!
Good job.
What else? So did you make 3 of them?
3 worlds so far, and I'm gonna make more because I'm here until Sunday.
We'll come check it out because we just live right over there. We just keep checking it out.
Oh, and here's the
Do you
cool
have
thing.
one more?
Yeah, there's one more that you get to see. But listen, you know what the cool thing is?
What?
That people don't necessarily see the places, so you're one of the only ones that knows where they are. So you should tell your friends.
Cool.
I'm enjoying the experience thus far. I actually was trying to do something different for this project, and so the surface that I made for this, how it's texturized, it's the first time me doing it, and so I kind of like it, you know, it's rough, and I used all these different materials, but it's got some obstacles. But that's like, you know, it's kind of what's cool about liquid ink, is that you don't have this control over it, so other things come out of it that you wouldn't have expected. So yeah, I mean, I feel like all of this is really unintentional, except for these guys. I kind of love these guys here. Like these little clusters. Because it's this rough surface, and it's actually lots of just tea-filtered paper layered on top, that the liquid ink tends to bleed over some really rough spots. So even something like this here, you know, I can't even imagine what would happen if I put ink over this. It probably would just expand.
So what are you going to work on the rest of the day?
The rest of the day, I have to finish a little bit more grounding. I just did the second coat on this side. I just have to do this side now.
Okay.
But I don't know what he's doing or what he's trying to get shots of.
Okay.
I do have to go to the bathroom, but I don't know what's going on with him. And I have a microphone on me. I guess when I was really little, I always wanted to be an artist, or like a veterinarian or a pony, something like that. But it wasn't until my senior year of high school I was working at a glass blowing studio in my hometown, and I sort of fell in love with glass. So I ended up going to Temple University to get my bachelor's in glass. And then that way I could also minor in other things. Since it was a state university, I could get like a business minor and a art history minor. So I guess when I started blowing glass when I was 17, about 23 now. So yeah, I mean, I did want to be a lawyer for a long time when I was in high school, but I guess because my parents are lawyers and my brothers are lawyers and everyone in my family is either a doctor or a lawyer. And then I was a rebellious child, I suppose. So I ended up going to art school.
And my basic goal for this project was really to create connections between all the people that I've been working with, connections between the artists themselves and the community that they're working in, connections between the artists, and connecting the Community Development Center, centers who've already been doing a lot of work in the communities, with the artists who are living in those communities. And for the public at large, my goal is for them to have a chance to see what goes into the things that they kind of take for granted, maybe seeing the final product in a gallery and wondering, why does it cost $1,000? But if they have a chance to see the 40 hours of work that went into the making of it, they might have a better sense of why it costs as much as it does. And beyond that, sort of my more lofty goal is just to create a really great conversation about the value of art, the value of local art, and the meaning of why we want to keep supporting artists.
The beginnings of Art Out of the Box was, for me, was Sam coming to me and discussing designs for a mobile art studio. And she had worked with me before with the Visionary Arts Festival, helping me with my booth, which was just an insane amount of materials and work and planning. Hey, how you doing? And so we kind of learned through that process that like less is more and simple is better and lightweight. So we worked on some ideas, and then she just kept working and working and working and doing all the grant funding, and she's just tireless. She's tireless. She will never stop till it's perfect. And she gets there, which is fun and inspiring. This is hilarious. Oh, it's purple. God. All right. Didn't happen.
You don't do purple.
Not like that.
I have all these pieces of glass been laying around in my room since I graduated college, not knowing what to do with them, so I'm thinking I'm going to use them somehow. The process is called I don't know what to put on this canvas, so you start tearing and gluing stuff.
I've been working on 3 pieces so far and interacting with a lot of great people. Hearing a lot of stories and discussing a lot of discussions about the price of works, which has been kind of neat. Don't often know how to answer the question, you know, what's that cost? What's that? How's that? You know, but it ends up opening up a dialogue about the process of it.
Sometimes people see you in a cart with stuff and they think that you're, you know, trying to sell them something or give them pamphlets, or so rather than being too upfront, you know, like, hey, come see, you know, I try to feel it out, and some people show a kind of interest after you say hi, and they're like, they kind of, you can hear the question in their head, what are you doing? And then I take the next step. But a lot of times, you know, if I start trying to approach people, they kind of get like, I've had people before when I've been like, oh, hi, let me tell you, and they're like, no, thank you, no, thank you. Almost like, you know, no, nothing.
Well, one of the most important things to me is that my work be accessible, both sort of physically and conceptually, which is one of the reasons I'm interested in public work. Just so I use a lot of